Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Josh all alone with you today. Just want to do a quick midweek, week 3 update, talk about a couple things that we didn't get a chance to go over on the live show Monday night on Victory Monday after the big win in Jacksonville over the Jaguars on Sunday, and just talk about a couple things, a couple expectations that I have for the team and things to look for throughout the rest of this week as the team practices. They kick off practice today. They'll practice tomorrow on Thursday, Friday, and get ready for the second home game of 2024 on Sunday against the New York Giants. And we will be doing a preview show tomorrow night on our Discord channel. So if you are a member of the Dog Pack, you are a part of the private Discord channel, we will be doing a show tomorrow night. I believe it's 9 p.m. We'll be recording that with all of you guys in Discord, getting your questions, thoughts, takes on the Browns, everything on the show, and then we'll be releasing that episode to preview the New York Giants game on Friday. And if you want to be a part of the Dog Pack or and the Discord, and you're not already, we tell you all the time, head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page. You can sync up your Patreon account then with the private Discord. We'll give you the link, get you in there, and get everything settled, ready to go. We had I think 3 people in the last day or so come in and join the Dog Pack on Patreon and get synced up with the Discord. So just really excited to get to meet everybody, get to know you better. If you've been following the show for a while now, you see the interaction we have with the Dog Pack members. And we've got fantasy football leagues. We've got 24/7 discussions, conversations going on in the Discord. And, we get to know everybody so well. We've got the Dog Pack meetup coming in November 3rd, I believe. It's the night before the Chargers game. A whole bunch of Dog Pack members are going to the game. We're all getting together at the Browns Backers Bar in Berea. The night before, we're going to have, music, and we're going to do some podcasting. There's going to be some Browns alumni there. It's going to be a ton of fun. So if you want to be a part of that community that we're building, and when I say we, I mean everybody who's involved in the Dog Pack is building this community to be something very special. Jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member. So one guy that I wanted to shout out, well, actually, I've got a couple here. The first guy, and we mentioned him Monday night, but I just wanted to reiterate how impressed I have been with linebacker Jordan Hicks so far through the season. And obviously put it out there early here. Everything, I know it's only week 2. I know we've only played 2 games, yada, yada, yada. But that's the data and the information we have to go off of so far. And so far, Jordan Hicks has looked great. I was really excited when the Browns signed him. I liked Anthony Walker when he was here, but he was just always hurt. He was never on the field. And what he provided for the defense, I thought Jordan Hicks could provide that and more. And so far, we're seeing that. Sunday against the Jaguars, he had a sack, 2 quarterback hits, a tackle for loss, and 2 pass breakups in his pass coverage. So very good outing for Jordan Hicks. Excited to see him throughout the duration of this season, kind of being the spearhead of that defense in the middle there. And then we've got Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward is, I think as long as he stays healthy, that's always a big thing, especially with the concussions with Denzel. But there is a monster game coming. I don't know when it's going to be, but there's a big one coming for the Warden. And we've got 3 potential opportunities here for him coming up, because we've got Daniel Jones on Sunday, who likes to turn the ball over a lot. We've got Gardner Minshew the week after, who has played very competent football in Las Vegas for the Raiders. So that game could be a sneaky. The Browns need to watch out and not get too ahead of themselves, because I think that could be a trap game on the road in Las Vegas. But then we've got Jaden Daniels, another, a young rookie coming in, or we're going to Washington to play him. But Denzel Ward has had his hands on so many balls. Man, that sounds terrible. Denzel Ward has had his hands on so many passes so far in 2 games. He had 3 pass breakups in week 1 against the Cowboys, against Dak Prescott, who's a very good quarterback. 2 of those could have been picks if he had just held on. So Denzel Ward right there could have had 2 turnovers, and then he had 1 pass breakup in week 2 that could have been picked as well. It was right there for him. He just dropped it. So he starts coming down with some of these, and Denzel Ward is going to, I'm telling you guys, there is a monster game coming very soon for Denzel Ward. Martin Emerson also had a pick come in and out of his hands on Sunday. And not just for Denzel Ward are the turnovers coming, but for this defense in general. The turnovers are coming. We are pressuring the quarterback at such a high rate, and we're being so effective about it. We are going to force fumbles. We are going to force bad throws, pick sixes, scoop and scores. There are things coming for this defense. We saw the safety from Alex Wright. We'll talk about that here in a second on Sunday against Trevor Lawrence. Good things are coming for this Browns defense. And when they do, that's when we're going to start seeing the Browns start putting up 20, 25, 30 points in these games. They're going to start winning by more than a score. It's coming for the Browns. We have started this season the way that, obviously ideal would have been 2-0, but after that horrendous loss in week 1, you can't ask for a better start to the season than 1-1 with the potential to win the next 3 and open up 4-1 in this first chunk of the season. So that's got to be the primary focus right now, is just stack these wins, get these wins early, get ahead in the division. We've already got a leg up on Baltimore and Cincinnati. Baltimore's got to go play Dallas this week in Dallas. I mean, there is a real outcome here where the Baltimore Ravens are 0-3 to start the season. We have got to take advantage of these opportunities, and we got to start Sunday at home against the Giants. So another guy I wanted to shout out, man, Ronnie freaking Hickman gets the start for the injured Juan Thornhill. He went on IR last week with the calf injury. Ronnie Hickman, man, 3rd highest graded defender for the Browns on Sunday per PFF. The Jaguars only threw at him twice. Hickman allowed 0 catches. He had 3 tackles, 1 pass breakup. It is so good to see this coming from a second-year undrafted free agent from The Ohio State University. And Andrew Berry's his track record of getting these UDFAs who contribute and play meaningful snaps, and it's just so great to see. And the growth and development from Hickman. I mean, last year he got thrust into a starting role because of injuries to the secondary, and he held his own pretty well. He had some lapses here and there, some moments where it was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's definitely a UDFA, but still played very well. Earned himself a spot on the team for the 2nd year in a row. I don't think there was ever a question Hickman was making the roster as a UDFA in year 2, and now we're seeing him in the starting lineup. And you're going to see mistakes. You see mistakes from all these guys. You see miscommunications and blown coverages and bad reads and things like that. I mean, it's the NFL. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. He's going to make mistakes for sure. He's going to get burnt probably once or twice here and there. But overall, what he can provide to the defense, being a UDFA, being the second stringer stepping in for the starter, you really can't ask for much better than what Hickman's giving you right now. So very impressed with his play. Okay, now maybe some not so great, exciting news, but definitely a conversation that we need to have. I don't believe we mentioned this at all on the Monday Night Live show, but we got to talk about Myles Garrett. And we got to talk about Myles Garrett because there is an injury that he's dealing with, and we have got to temper expectations as fans. It sucks to say, hey, this is the reigning DPOY. He's probably the best player on our team. He's the leader of our defense. Like, we need to lean on Myles, rely on Myles. The expectations need to be high for him. I'm telling you guys, as fans, you got to temper those a little bit, because here's the situation. Myles Garrett has a foot injury that he's been dealing with. Came up last week at practice. I don't believe, if I read the reports correct, it did not stem from anything in the Cowboys game. I think it was just like a midweek practice type of situation. He missed practice. He practiced, I believe, on Wednesday, missed practice on Thursday with the foot injury, then logged, I believe, like a limited practice or something on Friday, entered the weekend without an injury designation, which was good. But clearly the foot was bothering him on Sunday after the game. Garrett said his foot didn't feel great, quote unquote, but that he's going to continue to play through it. So this foot injury is something that we need to keep in the back of our minds when we're watching games and there's drives that Myles Garrett is on the sideline. Even in like critical situations or spots in the game where you're like, why is Myles not in the game? This is why. This is what's going on right now. So I just want to make sure we're all up to speed and aware of this. I put in my notes here on the drive where Alex Wright got that sack for the safety against Trevor Lawrence. We saw Myles Garrett carried the left tackle all the way back through where Trevor Lawrence was dropping back. He had to step up, and he stepped up right into that pressure of Alex Wright, took him down for the sack. By the way, as I was going back and kind of rewatching some plays and things to put some notes together, I had to take a screenshot of that play because Myles Garrett gets full arm wrapped up, tackled yet again by that left tackle as he's pass rushing Trevor Lawrence. And I'm taking screenshots anytime I see this, any plays, any situations where I'm seeing Myles Garrett getting full wrap tackled by the offensive lineman, especially when it's right next to the quarterback. I'm taking screenshots of all those instances all season. I'm not going to stop. And I'm posting them on X, and I'm tagging NFL officiating and NFL commissioner Roger Dickhead Goodell. This is unacceptable. This is completely unacceptable, and I am sick and tired of watching it. Blake made a great point on the show the other night. It's like the NFL has come out with this mentality that, well, Myles Garrett's just too damn good. He's too damn fast. He's too damn powerful and strong and everything else. You can't call holding on him because otherwise you'd have to call it every play. That mentality is flawed, completely flawed. You would never do that on the other side of the ball for a guy like Justin Jefferson. Are you telling me the NFL would come out and say, look, Justin Jefferson is too damn good. He's too fast. He's too quick. He's too good of a route runner. You just can't stop him. So we're not going to call any pass interference calls on Justin Jefferson. No, they would never do that. Never in a million years. So why are we doing it on the other side of the ball with a guy who's just as equally as good at his position on defense in Myles Garrett? This is bullshit, and I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm calling them out every chance I get. So if you follow us on X, every time I post something about this and I'm taking those idiots in the post, share it, retweet it, send it out to everybody. Let's get this stuff to go all over the place and put some pressure on these buffoons in the NFL thinking that this kind of shit is okay, because it's not. This is not okay. This is how people get hurt. This is how Myles going to hurt his shoulder again or something stupid because we're letting them full on tackle. I posted 3 instances just from Sunday that I saw where Myles Garrett got full tackled right next to Trevor Lawrence. It's not like this is happening on the other side of the play and they're rolling away and maybe the ref didn't see it. No, this is happening right next to Trevor Lawrence, right at his feet or right beyond him. These refs are watching the quarterback with freaking hawk eyes, and you don't see Myles Garrett getting tackled right next to him. No, bullshit. Don't believe it. Don't buy it for 1 second. This is driving me nuts. So anyway, get off my soapbox about all that, but just help us out a little bit. We're trying to put a little pressure on these idiots. So anyway, in the game against the Jaguars, Myles did play limited snaps. He played just 68% of the snaps, which was down from 76% in week 1. And I look back to 2023, Myles Garrett never really played below a 70% snap share in any game, except for the ones that were like big blowouts. Maybe he was down in like the 60% because they just didn't need him in the second half. And the Denver game was low, which is the game where he injured his shoulder because he got freaking tackled on a pass rush. So in terms of moving forward here, I don't expect Myles Garrett to really practice this week until, again, probably Friday. Maybe he logs like a limited session on Friday. I would imagine he's going to start popping up on the injury reports heading into the weekends with like a questionable tag. He's going to keep playing through this foot injury, but you have to just taper back those expectations a little bit for Myles. He is going to play less than what he normally would as he continues to deal with this injury. The thing, like for the Browns medical staff and the coaches and everything, they don't want to force him out there more than they need to with this foot injury and risk it getting worse. If they can manage it, if they can manage the pain level, and they can manage the severity of the injury that he can continue to play on it, they're going to do that, but they don't want to overwork it to the point where they don't have him at all. So a limited Myles sucks. It's not ideal, but it beats the hell out of no Myles. And that's kind of the mentality I think the Browns are taking with their approach here. So the foot injury, this could linger for the majority of the season, guys. So just, keep an eye on this. Keep that in mind when you're watching games on Sundays. Again, like I said, if he's not out there in spots where you think he normally would be, that's why. But even on those limited snaps on Sunday, Myles Garrett managed to rack up 3 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, a tackle for loss, and a quarterback hit. And that's all with getting tackled. I mean, he's flat out getting tackled on the field. And, he's doing everything he can. And, got to appreciate that from one of your team leaders. Alex Wright, dude continues to show growth and development from the defensive end position. And, I would not be surprised to see his snaps continue to increase as Myles continues to decrease a little bit. I think Wright's going to spell Myles even more. And if he continues to show that he can be trusted like this on the field, there's no reason not to. If you can take some of the pressure and burden off of Myles while he's dealing with a foot injury, because you've got a competent pass rusher that you can trust out there and he's going to be where he needs to be and do what he needs to do, and Alex Wright, that's just makes the Browns that much better of a team all around. So especially on that defensive front where, Dalvin Tomlinson had, surgery before the season started. So, I know he's good to go right now, but you just never know. We've already lost Maurice Hurst. We don't have Michael Hall. We need guys to step up, and Alex Wright so far has been that guy. So happy to see that. Hey, Dog Pack. Football season is the best time of the year, and it's here to stay until the Super Bowl in February. So get more out of football season with Underdog Fantasy, and you can win 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite players' stats like touchdowns, passing yards, receptions, whatever you want. I've been playing Underdog Fantasy for years now. If you've watched any of our fantasy talk before the season, I have over 12 best ball leagues on Underdog here for 2024, but you could play contests all season long. The Underdog app is awesome. It's easy to use, and it's one of my personal favorites. Making picks on Underdog is simple, and signing up is even easier. Just download the Underdog mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com, sign up using our promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. And you can also use our preferred fantasy sports link at signupexpert.com/dogs to access this great offer on Underdog and also see all the other offers available to you. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 or older, 21 or older in Massachusetts and Arizona, 19 and over in Alabama, Nebraska, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP, 1-800-639-8783, or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. This episode is brought to you by Baden Sports. Browns fans, Baden Sports is your one-stop shop for all your athletic gear. Baden started out perfecting and manufacturing the best balls in the business. Yeah, if that sounded dirty, that's more about your mind than my words. But hey, it's true. Baseballs, softballs, footballs, basketballs, volleyballs, soccer balls, you name it, and Baden has engineered the highest standard sports balls available. And now they offer more than just sports balls. If you got kids playing baseball or softball, Baden has batting gloves and bats to go along with both game balls and training balls. If you're into basketball, Baden makes basketball specifically for indoor or outdoor use. Heck, Baden even has all the equipment you need for pickleball, which is one sport that I hear everyone is playing, and yet I still never have. And I need to fix that soon. But don't miss the backyard game section of Baden's website, where you can order everything you need for this upcoming outdoor season. Pool balls, backyard volleyball nets, croquet, bocce, horseshoes, cornhole, and more. Right now, you can get 10% off your entire order at Baden Sports, BADEN sports.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use promo code DAWGS when you check out. That's 10% off all the top quality sporting gear you need this season. BadenSports.com/dogs. Hey, Browns fans, have you guys ever tried to explain football to a little kid? It's near impossible to make the game of football make sense. First downs and punts and field goals and scoring and all that kinds of stuff. Meet Future Fans, an innovative brand that helps little kids become big fans by embedding the rules of football into parallel games and activities. The way future fans teach the game of football is so unique and effective. As an example, they've created a beanbag toss game with 4 tries to teach how first downs work in football, and then later connect those games back to the sport itself through a storybook that you read with your kids. Seriously, go check out the reviews of this thing. They have a 4.9 on Amazon. Imagine having your kid asked to watch football on Sundays with you, where all the ups and downs with your favorite team, Browns. That's what dreams are made of, though, right there, and future fans exist to make them a reality. So if you want your kids to understand football, Future Fans is for you. It's only $49.99 when you go to futurefans.com, use the code DOGS, and get 10% off. Unlock a lifetime of memories with the kids in your life starting now.
At Nutrafol, we don't just help your hair, we help your body grow it. Because it's never just about your hair. It can be your job, or your deodorant, or your lunch, or just normal life. That's why our whole body approach targets the key root causes of hair thinning. Discover your root causes and why we're the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements have not been approved by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Nutraceutical Wellness, Inc.
So let's continue our discussion here on Amari Cooper, shall we? We talked about this Monday night. We talked about the stats. We talked about the air yards, like 243 total air yards, I think third most in the entire NFL so far through 2 weeks. He only has 27 actual yards. There are good things coming for Amari Cooper, kind of like I talked about the defense. Like, they are this close to getting those interceptions, getting those turnovers. Big things are coming for the defense. Amari Cooper is this close to having a phenomenal season to start so far. If he just catches a couple passes that he dropped, he has probably well over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns and looks like, the top guy for the Browns. Unfortunately, he's dropped those passes. Once he starts making those catches, there are some big games coming for Amari Cooper. I keep saying it, because I truly believe it. He is the Browns' #1 target still. And I just wanted to talk a little bit more, though, about the situation surrounding Amari Cooper. So, one thing that we saw, we saw it in week 1 in a limited fashion because that whole game was just a shit show. Week 2, we saw a great connection between Deshaun Watson and Jerry Jeudy, and Deshaun Watson and Elijah Moore. Like, those guys all seemed to be on the same page. They were connecting. They were catching their passes. Deshaun's hitting them in the right place, right time, all these kind of things. They're making plays together. Jerry Jeudy along the sideline, a couple spots where he just made some great catches on some nice throws from Deshaun. And those are the type of playmaking things you need to see, because not every play in the NFL is going to be, okay, you drop back, first read's open, hit him, go. You got to improvise. You have got to be able to say, first read's not there, second read's not there, I'm getting pressure from this side. Like you saw with Deshaun, evade a tackle, roll out, run to the side, make a last-second pass, to Jeudy on the sideline where he drags his toes, and just those are the type of plays that make a good NFL offense. And it's great to be seeing those things. But why aren't we seeing them with Amari Cooper? Why do they seem to be more on the same page? Elijah, Jeudy, Watson, and all that kind of stuff. So, if you remember, and I just thought this was important to remind everybody, including myself. I had to sit down, think about it, go back and readjust my expectations for Amari Cooper. The dude didn't start practicing until after a full week of training camp had already gone by. Remember, he was holding out, and it wasn't until after he agreed to those contract terms with the Browns. They guaranteed his $20 million salary, gave him $5 million extra dollars for the season, all that kind of stuff. So he missed the first chunk of training camp. And then, if you remember, he left the joint practices against Minnesota with an injury. So he didn't practice after that. And I believe he didn't practice or participate in drills for pretty much the rest of training camp. Unless I'm completely misremembering that, let me know. But if my memory serves me correctly, especially because I know when we were up there at training camp, and that was the last week, I believe, of training camp when we went, Amari was still off to the side catching passes, but he didn't participate in any team drills. He didn't run with any of the team stuff, none of that. So, he was very limited availability and all that kind of stuff in training camp. He didn't play in the preseason. And then think back to the other guys. Jerry Jeudy was on the practice field with Deshaun Watson day 1 of voluntary OTAs, if I remember correctly. He was there from the start back in May it's voluntary OTAs. We talked about that with Deshaun Watson. Like this dude, because all the haters want to talk about, he doesn't want to play football anymore. He's going to take every excuse he can to quit, yada, 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 which is just not even close to true in any sense. So we're not even going to talk anymore about that. But he was there day one of OTAs, voluntary OTAs, when most vets elect not to come and they opt out of those voluntary OTAs, which is fine, whatever. I mean, they're veterans, but Amari Cooper is one of those guys. He opted out. Elijah Moore opted out of session one. Session two, the following week, Elijah Moore was there. Voluntary OTAs, Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Deshaun Watson. They have been repping together, logging reps on the practice field since May. Jerry Jeudy had like the injury that limited him during training camp, but he was still on the field when we were up there at training camp that last week of the summer. Jerry Jeudy was out there, and he was one of the guys that impressed me and Justin. Like, wow, man, this guy's route running is pretty damn good. Like, he's open, he's making plays during practice. It's pretty cool to see live. You read the reports, you see the video clips and everything, but to see it live, it was like, okay, Jerry Jeudy, I think we got a guy here. So these guys have been practicing together for a while. They really have, and the rapport, the chemistry, the reps between Deshaun and Amari Cooper just haven't been there. Neither of them played in the preseason. Just to mention again, Amari not really available much of training camp, and it has been Deshaun Watson and Elijah Moore and Jerry Jeudy from the beginning, since May, really getting these reps together this entire time. So it makes sense why early in the season to start here, they are on the same page with each other. Meanwhile, Deshaun and Amari are not. So I just think it's going to take a little bit of time. Hopefully these first 2 weeks will just kind of get back into sync between Amari and Deshaun, and we're going to start seeing those downfield connections start to hit. And when they do, man, Amari Cooper is going to have some big, explosive games for the Browns, and I'm really excited to see it when it starts clicking. But in the meantime, it is good to see that Deshaun does have that rapport, and he is on that same page with Jeudy and Moore and some of our other receivers while we wait for Cooper to get back. Got to remember David Njoku wasn't there either on Sunday. I thought Akins did a decent job filling in for him. But, we are, with Amari Cooper being kind of slow out the gate and David Njoku not being available, we're down our top two playmakers in the receiving game early in the season. So once we get back up to speed with Amari, once David gets back on the field, I think we're going to see a lot more from this offense than what we've seen so far. So just some final quick notes that I wanted to go over here in the middle of getting ready for week 3. Kevin Stefanski, we didn't mention this the other night, but he got his 20th win following a loss since he took over as the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. That is what you want to see from your head coach of your football team. What do you do? What does the team do? How do you respond after you get beat? And that is 20 losses in Kevin Stefanski's, now he's in his 5th season with the Browns, 20 losses in his duration here that he has followed up with a win. So great job, Kevin. Love to see that. And it was his, it was his 5th straight year of at least either being 2-0 or 1-1. So Kevin Stefanski has never gone 0-2 to start a season. Again, it's what you want to see from your head coach. It's the NFL. You look at the Ravens. I mean, they're 0-2 facing potentially. Now, they could obviously beat the Cowboys and be 1-2, whatever. But if they lose, they're going to start 0-3. You do not want to start 0-2 if you can avoid it. And so far, Kevin Stefanski has never started 0-2. Love to see it. The Browns defense averaged almost 3 touchdowns allowed per game on the road last season. We talked so much heading into the Jacksonville game how we need the road defense to be improved from last year, because last year it was not good. And on Sunday in Jacksonville, the Browns defense allowed just 1 touchdown, just 13 total points. Great start for the defense on the road in 2024. Hopefully that is a trend that continues. Now, as far as practice goes for this week, I'm going to be monitoring what Jack Conklin does during practice. I do not expect Jed Wills to play again on Sunday. So let's talk about Jed Wills just for a quick second here. One of the sports docs I follow closely on X, he has been speculating for the last week or so that, you know what, this whole Jed Wills thing is a little bit, I don't want to say fishy, because that's not really the right word. It's just a little bit interesting, I guess. I don't have a good word for it right now, guys. But all that to say, he's looking at the Jed Wills injury kind of the same way we have been saying, well, for what they reported his injury was last year and the surgery timeline and all that stuff, he really should be back. So he's speculating now that the only real answer for this is that the initial injury last year, when the surgery happened and all that kind of stuff, was underreported. That the injury was actually more severe than what was ever reported to the public, meaning that potentially Jed Wills' MCL injury last year could have been much worse, could have been like a full tear of the MCL that was never really reported and then was fixed and corrected during the surgery. And that could be why the recovery is taking longer than we feel it should be. So that's honestly the only theory that makes any sense. And for everybody out there screaming, oh, Jed Wills is just lazy, he just doesn't want to play, blah, blah, he's quitting on the team. Guys, Jed Wills is not benching himself because he doesn't want to play. This is his contract year. So the more time that Jed Wills misses in 2024, the more he's hurting his chance. I don't want to say he's hurting, but the more the situation is hurting his chances at getting a second, what they call the generational wealth type of contract in the NFL. He wants that second contract. He wants a good extension or, a good 3-year deal with another team or whatever to get that nice big second contract that these guys covet in the NFL. So no, he's not doing this on purpose. He's not sitting out because he doesn't want to play. He's not weak. He's not soft. None of that stuff. I think it was Deepak Jonah, the sports doc. I'm pretty sure it's who it was. I think his theory is probably the most logical at this point, that the injury last year for Jed, the surgery, the repair, whatever the situation was, it was underreported. It was not, we didn't get the full details of what happened, what went on, and that is why the recovery is taking longer. Again, reiterate, it's not because Jed's soft. It's not because he doesn't want to be out there. The dude needs to be out there. I guarantee you he wants to be out there because he needs to get that second contract. So money talks, and I know that if Jed was physically able to be out there, he would be. So Conklin, though, being back on Sunday, that's a possibility. I would love to see Jack Conklin be at left tackle. It'd be great to get James Hudson out of the starting lineup. He gave up the most pressures once again on Sunday. And just looking ahead, we'll preview, obviously, the Giants later this week. But the Giants have Kevin Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence rushing the passer. So upgrading from James Hudson to Jack Conklin, I know it would make me feel a lot better. I'm sure it would make all of you feel a lot better. We would just feel a lot better going into that game. The Giants logged 5 sacks just this past week on Jaden Daniels. And I was just checking some quick metrics. Jaden Daniels' time to throw was 2.84, and he got sacked 5 times by the Giants. Deshaun was still over 3 seconds on his time to throw. So managing this pass rush against New York is going to be very important. And if we could manage it with Jack Conklin and not James Hudson, that would obviously be much more ideal. So those are just some quick notes, quick hitters, thoughts, and updates heading into Week 3 against the New York Giants. We will be back later this week. Tomorrow night, if you're part of the Discord, we will be live in Discord at 9 p.m. You guys can jump on the stage, get up there, ask your questions, give us your takes on, last week's game, on the upcoming Giants game. We're going to be previewing the Giants, all that fun stuff. Those episodes seem to be going over very well. We're having a ton of fun interacting with all you guys and talking and getting your thoughts and opinions on the show. And if you want, again, to be a part of the Discord shows, which we seem to be doing, we don't have a hard schedule in place, but right now they seem to be like Thursday nights at 9 o'clock on the Discord. Head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon, sync up Patreon with the Discord, and we'll make sure you get in there and get everything you need to have access to all the channels. We have so many channels in there where guys are in there having conversations about all kinds of things. I say guys and gals. We've got some awesome Dog Pack women in there the diehard Browns community on Patreon in the Discord is phenomenal. You guys and gals rock. So keep up the great work. Join us tomorrow night if you're in the Dog Pack, 9 p.m. in the Discord. Preview the Giants. That episode will be out Friday, so you guys can catch that. If you're not part of the Patreon, we're coming to you Friday with a preview for the Giants game. It's going to be a great weekend. The Browns have a great opportunity to improve to 2-1 on the season. Obviously, you can't take any NFL team lately, but the Giants kind of suck overall. So if we can just limit the mistakes, again, manage their pass rush on defense, all that kind of stuff, I think the Browns can get out of there with a relatively easy win in NFL terms. But again, you can't take them lightly. We'll talk about it all on the preview show. So until I see you guys in that one, let's go Brownies.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is brought to you by Danger Coffee. Browns fans, we talk about how Danger Coffee is made free from mold toxins that are in 45% of the world's coffee, but that's not all that Danger Coffee has to offer. Mineral and nutrient deficiencies are a big deal. They make you feel sick, tired, stressed, and they can give you brain fog. These deficiencies negatively affect your immune system, your digestion, sleep, metabolism. Have you ever wondered why you get an initial burst from your coffee, but then you get that little crash not long after? Danger Coffee's patent-pending process remineralizes your body with more than 50 trace minerals and electrolytes, leaving you more energized, engaged, powerful. These micronutrients enter the cells to boost performance. They bind to toxins to provide detoxification support. I know that sounds like a lot, but the bottom line, guys, is minerals matter, and most of us really don't get enough of them on a daily basis. Danger Coffee delivers micronutrients, plus it gives you access to the minerals you already have. Head to dangercoffee.com, use our code DAWGS, DAWGS, for 10% off your order. And that code can be used over and over. So you get 10% off every order you make using code DAWGS. It's time to start every day off with a cup of coffee that gets you going and actually keeps you going. Dangercoffee.com, code DAWGS.